is based on human geography, meaning that it is a chapter about the study of people as they have spread across the earth. Human geographers seek to understand who lives where, how, and why. South Africa is a multiracial society, meaning that it's made up of many ethnic groups. An ethnic group is a group of people that share the same characteristics and beliefs. South Africa has four major ethnic groups: blacks, whites, coloreds, and Asians. For nearly 50 years, whites had ruled South Africa under a policy called Apartheid. Apartheid means separateness. Under this policy, they separated people by race. This policy hurt non-white ethnic groups. The whites had control of the natural resources, the government, and the people. Therefore, life was very hard for the other groups. Thanks to Nelson Mandela and the ANC, South Africa is now a peaceful and fair country. Now I'm going to interview Nelson Mandela. Many of you might be wondering, who is Nelson Mandela? Well, Nelson Mandela is best known for 727 years in prison because of his protests against apartheid. He became the first black president of South Africa, and well, he is now one of the most admired people in this world and has received a Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. And also, he has a day honored on him, July 18th, and in which people are asked to devote 68 minutes of their day on helping people. So here we go with the interview. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Why do you think whites settled in South Africa?
I think why I settled in South Africa because South Africa is a rich country in natural resources such as metals and minerals and rich soil. Cash crop grew very well and large deposits of gold, copper, diamonds like hair, and other valuable minerals can be found here. In 1910, South Africa became an independent country. Whites took complete control and apartheid became a government policy.
So, under the policy of apartheid, how are the different ethnic groups treated?
Whites were the highest. They were like the first-class citizens. Asian and colored were treated the second class. And black, we were treated worse. We were even forced to move to poor rural areas called homelands. Where there wasn't no water, no electricity, or even doctors to help us. We also weren't allowed to move to the country freely.
So then, how did you guys fight apartheid?
Before apartheid even became an official government policy, we had formed groups to protest unfair treatments by whites. The most important group was the African National Congress, ANC, that was established in 1912. In 1952, the organization began its campaign for the defense of unjust laws, and I, an ANC lawyer, took charge of the fight and end apartheid laws. In 1962, I was jailed for my protest activities.
When apartheid ended, what did it mean for blacks?
Okay, so in 1989, a white African named F.W. de Klerk became the president of South Africa. At the beginning, he agreed with segregation and that stuff, but later on changed his ways and decided that South Africa would be better with an equal society. So, he freed me from prison, where I had been for 27 years. By 1991, South Africa's apartheid laws had been ended, and a year later, all South Africans could vote. ANC became South Africa's most powerful political party, and I became the first black presidents.
So, what can you tell us about South Africa today, about job opportunities?
When apartheid ended, government took steps to charge the distribution of job opportunities. They created new laws like the Employment Equality Act, which opens job opportunity to all South Africans. This law helps Jews that had been unfairly denied jobs in the past, such as blacks, colored, Asians, women, and disabled. Despite these changes, many South Africans still lack jobs. One reason for this has been the low growth of the economy, which had made poverty increase.
Okay. What about education? I know that during apartheid, whites had the best education, and non-whites had limited. Their schools were badly built, and the teachers were badly trained and paid.
Yeah, but now, with the end of apartheid, the education system has changed a lot. The government spends a lot more money on schools, and students from all ethnic groups now attend the same public schools. Schools in South Africa today are teaching the skills that all students will need know to get good jobs, with a strong focus on science and math. Also, students of all ethnic groups are strongly encouraged to remain in school. Thanks to this, the percentage of students who finish high school has increased in all groups.
Also, cities during apartheid were very segregated, meaning that people from different races lived in different places. They didn't live together. How are things now?
After apartheid, people can live wherever they can afford by housing. Government DA has provided approximately 1.6 million homes to poor South Africans, and a effort to create more housing for the poor are continuing. The government is also working to improve urban slums, but healthcare still doesn't reach. There are easily 9 out of 10 doctors in South Africa still work in urban areas. Nevertheless, South Africa is the effort to bring healthcare to all citizens.
Now on to the essential question. How might ethnic group differences affect who controls resources and power in society? Well, using South Africa as an example, the whites that moved down there had more knowledge about the world outside. They were a lot more educated, they had weapons, they had medicine, and they had money. When they first arrived, it was easy for them to take control over the less powerful groups, and they easily took control.